Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. What is your favorite thing to do with your child or your grandchild? Do you like to go shopping, go to the movies, throw around a ball, or play one of my favorite sports, pickleball? I suggest you start that at whatever age they can play that, but you probably have a favorite activity to do with them. How about reading a nighttime story or a daytime story? Is that one of your favorite things to do? Well, if it is, you are blessed, and your child and grandchildren are blessed, because it's probably one of the best memories they'll have is mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, sitting down peacefully and reading a book, paging through the story, and perhaps having you read a sentence or two, maybe describing the photos, the pictures. Those are some of my favorite memories with my son, and my favorite memories with my brothers and sisters who used to read with me. So it's a lifetime memory that you can create, but also so much more. And we're going to discuss how some UNM students are impacting children's lives right here in New Mexico. So stay with us as we talk about Global Give a Book and the wonders and the memories they're making across our city, across our state, and hopefully across the world. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. Well, I bet I give you something to think about. Reading a book, I mean, you enjoy it, your kids enjoy it. Of course, we like watching TV here on KCHF TV with your kids, but also taking that time to show one-on-one that you think a lot about them. Well, we have some guests today who love reading and want to pass that treasure on to the younger generation, and we salute them and we appreciate them so much. So I'd like to introduce my guests today. We have Eli Salway from Rio Rancho. She's a junior at UNM, and she's a history major with a museum studies minor. And we have Cecilia Trujillo. Hi, Cecilia. Welcome to the program. She's from Angel Fire, and she's happy to be here. Thank you so much. They're UNM students tutoring younger kids. We'll talk about that on the show. And, of course, Sylvia Macer. She's the founder of Global Give a Book. Thank you so much for bringing these lovely ladies onto our set today and being a part of this program. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about UNM and their work-study program, how these students got involved with it. There are other ones, and what they do, who they read to, and why they chose this as their work-study. So let's start with you. You're doing work-study, you're studying biology, you're a junior, but you wanted to read to kids?
Yes. So in high school, I did a research project on Albuquerque public schools and how pre-literacy and how education impacts literacy levels in New Mexico.
You did that as a high school kid?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say, well, I used to read to my brothers and sisters. You did a study about how pre-literacy impacted.
Yeah. In the Albuquerque public school system. So, and then when I applied for this job, it really aligned with what I believe in. So that's how I ended up here.
Okay, we're going to get back to that study as a kid doing that. Thank you so much. Eli, thank you so much for being part of this program. Did you love to read as a kid? How did you become involved with the Global Give a Book?
Yeah, I loved to read as a kid. My parents definitely really nurtured that.
Lucky you to have that.
Our house is full of books, and I was always reading from like 3 to 12. Always had a book in my hand, so.
From age 3?
Yeah, all the time. Not advanced books at 3, but,
So when UNM gave you an option for a work-study program, I imagine you could have worked in the school cafeteria, or maybe you could work, I don't know, in hands with a corporation, a business. You chose literacy.
Yeah, I've always been really passionate about pre-literacy, even with my cousins and everything. I think it's really important to learn how to read, because reading is the first step to learning just about anything.
Come on now, who told you that?
I don't know.
I worked in the state legislature for 26 years, and that was their mantra. Before you can learn anything else, you got to learn to read before you can learn anything else. But here you are, a junior in college, telling me that's the open book to the world.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with these young ladies and the mentorship program, the tutoring program at UNM?
Well, I'm the founder of Global Give a Book. We started in September 2020, and UNM reached out to me because they saw us on the website, and they asked if we can accept reading tutors. Well, we have different initiatives, and one of them is a story time. So we go to the McKinney-Vento Homeless Project daycare, and the students have an opportunity to read one of our books to the children, but then they also give them a book to take home with them. And so I've been working with UNM Reading Tutors for almost 3 years already. And every semester, you know, some are seniors, and I hate to see them go, but they go on doing other wonderful things and go with their major. But they all come ready to give of themselves with the different, Eli was very involved with a readathon that we have, and I'll let her explain that readathon, but it gave her a chance to have a one-on-one connection with the children that need us the most in their own environment through the community centers. We have about 18 community centers here in Albuquerque.
18 community centers, okay.
And there's after-school programs there. The children go after school from 3 to 6 until the parents pick them up. So we have a readathon where we have maybe one day you might want to come and read. We've got about 20 to 40 students at one time, first, second, and sometimes third graders. But we read a book. We had the mayor's wife, First Lady Elizabeth, read a book to the children. And then the UNM reading tutors come alongside and help them do a book report. Now we're talking first graders, but Eli, if you want to share a story that you were actually helping in the different students that we get as first graders.
So for how many hours do you work as a tutor?
Oh, it depends on the week. You know,
Because you're studying quite a
Yeah.
bit, but you're getting paid through UNM to be a tutor. And I guess when I heard tutor, I thought you were tutoring UNM students, younger students.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many, maybe 5 hours a week, 6 hours?
I tend to average about 10 hours a week.
10 hours a week. So what do you do?
Well, you know, I do the readathons when we have those, and I attend pretty much as many events as I can. But I also help with the Global Give a Book social media and writing blogs, stuff like that.
Oh, that's exciting. So tell me about the Global Read a Book
Readathons?
Readathon.
Yeah, so they happen at community centers across Albuquerque. They're after-school programs, and the reading tutors will help them with a book report after the book is read.
So we have someone coming to read to the kids, maybe 15, 20 kids are sitting there. Well, they can't just enjoy the book. They have to write a book report afterwards.
Well, it's a pretty simple book report. It asks like favorite part of the book, if they would recommend it, and it's really just about getting them to, you know, write down some letters really quick.
And think about the book.
Yeah.
What they just heard. So how many book reports are written?
Every kid does one. So some events are a little bit harder because there's only a couple reading tutors and a couple volunteers, so we'll go around. And other events, we've got lots of volunteers, so there's kind of like everybody focuses on a kid, which is really nice.
Was there anything surprising, Eli, what they said about the book? Anything that, like, do they still say this main thing? Oh, I love the dog. I love the puppy. Anything that kind of took you by surprise of what they thought about the book?
There are some kids that, you know, they'll come out of nowhere with stuff like reading a book about a caterpillar, but they wrote down, I love ice cream. Honestly, I was just happy that they knew the letters, wrote it down right, you know, but they'll say all kinds of stuff.
Yes. What was that show? Kids say the darndest things?
Yeah.
Kids say the darndest things. I mean, are some things you laugh at?
Yeah, definitely. Usually later by myself. But
Oh, no, you're right. You don't want to laugh at them in front of
Yeah.
them. That's true. How wonderful. What's your experience, Cecilia?
My experience, so I have not done a lot of the readathons and stuff. I'm brand new here. I started working in about March. But I focus a little bit more on the side with Sylvia. So we kind of, we've done certain networking. I've been to a couple events where we go around and we kind of talk and like what Global Give a Book is. And we talk about
So tell me, what is Global Give a Book?
So Global Give a Book is focused on pre-literacy. So we give out books to children at different food pantries. So that's kind of what she was talking about earlier. We have the McKinney-Vento pantry that we go, and so when families come in to get food, we also give them books in return so that we can promote literacy and just give that foundation to children who are a little bit less fortunate, and we can give them the most important thing, which is books and that foundation.
Have you actually done this, Cecilia?
I have not, but I am going to this summer, and I'm very excited for it, and I've had a lot of prep to do so.
What kind of prep have you done?
Well, I'm learning right now. I'm really learning about what what Global Give a Book is, kind of, and their missions and their values and things like that. So I'm getting a good start at kind of what the nonprofit is about, and so from then I'll be able to go and do these projects and really. Well,
What do you think you're going to feel like when you hand a beautiful book such as that to a child?
So I have done that. So actually Eli and I have gone to different kind of events, and we'll sit and we'll be like, join our newsletter, and we'll talk about volunteer opportunities and just different kind of to educate people on what Global Give a Book is about and what we're doing for the community. So we'll go over there and we hand out free books, and it makes the kids smile. They're always smiling, and they're always ready to pick out a book, and it's beautiful. It's great. I love it.
What types of things do they say to you when they pick out their book? Do they take a long time? Do they pick out the biggest book like I did? The biggest book with the shiniest cover, or something else? What do they do?
So it really depends. The girls pick out the pink one, and the boys pick out the ones that have like tractors and stuff on them. But overall, it's they pick out which. It's beautiful to see them pick out ones that reflect also them. So you'll see some of the kids pick out like the lion one, or some of them will pick out a home again, and it just depends on their preferences. And I love to see that because it's detailed to each kid.
What do you say to the kids? What do you say to them, or what do they say to you?
I say that reading is important to them. I try to get that the lifelong learning into the children. And what they say to me is they say thank you, and they say they like to read. A lot of kids like to read. But when I was younger, I didn't really know if I liked to read, but a lot of children do. So.
Wow, that's wonderful to hear, to see. I'm a little surprised at that, because a lot of times it seems like kids are on computers and on cell phones, but they're loving to read.
Yeah.
So you've handed out books, free books, these beautiful hard-covered books. Some of them with plastic. Do you keep the plastic? I'm going to give you one with the plastic. That's what attracts my attention. A Dream of Birds, and you have the other one, Home Again.
Yes.
So what events have you handed out books?
So I did Lavender Libros last summer. That was really cool. That's a huge event. We give out hundreds of books at that event.
What is it called?
Lavender Libros, or Lavender in the Village.
Yeah, Lavender in the Village, and it's coming up again in July 26th, and we have about 8,000 participants from all over the states. One of the biggest events in the country, and it's here in Albuquerque. This is going to be our 4th annual.
Well, Lavender Libros, that would be books.
That Lavender Libros is
in the Lavender.
the initiative in the
Fiesta.
Lavender Fiesta.
Which is in Albuquerque.
The Los Ranchos.
Los Ranchos, Albuquerque.
So that was her first experience.
That was my
and
very first
Tell me
event.
about that.
Well, it was definitely an interesting first event, jumping into the deep end, the biggest event. But it was a lot of fun, At those events, every 30 minutes, we have live readings. So I actually got to dip my toes into reading to the kids.
And so, they circle around under a nice shady tree?
Last year we had a tent. We were under a tent alongside some of the other kids stuff. There was some STEAM, and Explora was there doing some stuff. So, you know, the kids would play with bubbles and then come over and find the books, and had them all laid out. And some kids will grab the first book that looks interesting to them, and that's what they want, that's the end. And other kids will look over all of them real careful and then choose one.
And these were free to these children as well?
We have major sponsors and people just like yourself. They give to our initiative, to our nonprofit, and we purchase. I think last time we gave about 700 books to the children. But we had one of our celebrities was Miss New Mexico, Miss Teen New Mexico, and they would read a book every 30 minutes. And the children just gather around wanting to see who's reading, especially a princess with, you know, looking gorgeous.
Tiara
Yes, it's lovely. And so after the reading, they got an opportunity to select a book to take with them. And that was to bring awareness to the importance of having books in the child's hand.
You had some numbers and statistics you wanted to give me?
Yes, 62% of low-income families don't have a children's book in their home. That's a huge percentage. So their mind is not open to imagination, to words or anything like that. So what we try to do through the food pantries is make sure when they come and get a book that they get their food, that they get a book to take home. And that gives them an opportunity to have a resource that normally they wouldn't have.
Why are you nodding your head, Cecilia?
Because it's very important because we give out the hardcover books, so they're also things that you can give to their children. So it's like I remember reading books that I had when I was little, and now I have those books, and they're the hardcovers, and they're important.
I mean, that's really a treat to have a hardcover book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Can I add something? Because you mentioned the plastic. Here is, these are individually packaged. I asked her to remove it just so that you wouldn't make noise, but you see hers.
I know.
And so they're individually packaged by special need adults. Peter's Paycheck, they do our packaging. And to date, they have packaged over 28,000 books. 28,000.
Here in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, Peter's Paycheck. So when the child gets a book, it's a brand new book, and it's that sense of newness, and it belongs to them. It's an art cover, it's a quality book, and it's something that they'll treasure. For a lot of them, it's the first book that they've ever gotten, that they can say, it's my book. And so they learn how to take care of a book because it's brand new and it belongs to them.
I wonder if some of them put them back in the packaging after they read
Some
it.
do, others just...
To keep it nice.
What's your experience? Others just...
Well, yeah. I've had times at readathons where, you know, they'll unpackage their books and then I'll go around with a trash can because it makes a lot of crinkling noise. And some of the kids will like fold it up real careful and put it under their book, like I want to keep it, and yeah.
So nice. I'm really impressed with the packaging. What other statistics and numbers do you want to give us?
Well, you know, I want Eli to share what she's doing this summer because it will give other college students, we don't always grow up with a silver spoon in our hands. And I want her to give her story of what she's doing this summer. We were talking about it, and I'm just so impressed that I'll let her tell you the story.
Thank you.
Well, this summer I'm going to Washington. I'm interning with the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture.
Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture in Washington, D.C.?
Actually, Spokane.
Oh, it's in Washington
Or Spokane,
State.
yeah. And part of my museum studies minor, I have to get an internship in order to graduate. So I've been really saving up in order to make this happen. And I applied to internships all over the place. I applied to everyone available in New Mexico that I could find. But there aren't very many, so I expanded to Ohio and Utah.
I'm surprised because we have so many museums here.
Yeah. Basically just anywhere I had family, and then I got back from Washington, and so I'm going to go to Washington, and I'm hoping it'll look good on my resume and really set me up for.
What do you hope to do when you graduate?
Well, I have a very broad idea. I'm a history major, but I'm hoping to maybe go into education, maybe be a history teacher, or I would love to work in a museum further. There's a lot of educational opportunities even within museums. They have all kinds of programs, and I just am really passionate about history, so.
How fun. Are you passionate? How did you become passionate about history?
Well, honestly, I'm a member of the Disabled Student Union at UNM. I have multiple invisible disabilities, and when I was in high school, I was learning a lot about the ADA and how that came into law and everything.
That's the American Disabilities Act.
And I was both very inspired by what they have done and the point they got to, so that I can have these rights, and disabled kids and everybody. It allows us, gives us more rights in schools and all kinds of stuff. And I was also really sad that this history isn't well known. It's not the kind of thing that's often taught. So I was really inspired to learn more about history, and hopeful that I can teach these important histories, because I think it's important to remember the activism that happened in the past to help us get to this point.
Very well said. She's remarkable. Thank you for sharing that, and good luck with your internship.
Thank you.
I was wondering if there was a museum in Washington, D.C. about the Northwest, but it was in the Northwest.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting change.
Yeah.
But again, come back here to New Mexico. We have a lot of museums and a lot of schools that need history teachers. Cecilia, what would you like to share about what you're hoping to do when you graduate?
I am getting my degree in biology, so I'm going to do something in that field. I would love to become a teacher. I have always had a kind of a passion for education as a whole, and I think especially with what I shared earlier about my research project in high school, it really solidified it. But I want to become a teacher, and I would love to do something. I've always loved the outdoors, and I've always loved teaching just in general.
So your research project, I said at the beginning of the show, let's touch upon it. What is the main point that you learned that our community should learn about the research you did about literacy in our schools?
So I focused a lot on parental involvement and how that affects literacy rates. So how much parents are involved in students' learnings and how that would affect like proficiency levels and stuff like that. So I looked into that specific aspect, but
and what did you find out?
I found out that there's a high correlation between parental involvement and proficiency. So if
they're highly involved, the child is more proficient to read, and if they're not?
If they're not involved, then they have lower proficiency.
How did you do the study?
I had a sample group, so I interviewed the superintendent for Albuquerque Public Schools, and they let me do a little research study. So I sent out like a little questionnaire, and I got them, and then I got their test scores back as well.
Oh, but asking parents how much time they spend with their child
so,
to read? And people told the truth, saying nothing?
I did it through the teachers, actually. So I sent out a little submission box for the teachers to rate their students' parental involvement. So I did it I interviewed about 70 teachers from Albuquerque Public Schools. Yeah,
that's quite a bit. Wow, what an idea. Amazing.
Yeah. Isn't that fabulous?
Sylvia, what would you like? We have a few minutes left about these wonderful young ladies and their futures, and I guess the impact they're making on the younger generation. How profound is that to have a college student come read to a child?
That is, I think, one of the most important things that we can encourage our young leaders like them. They're going to be our leaders, and they have to have an open mind to the next generation. And the importance of pre-literacy for at-risk children. How important is that? And when you have a UNM student, and they're volunteering, and they're getting paid, and they're out in the community, it gives them the awareness of what really is happening.
And they get to meet a university student. I mean, that's
Yes,
also an
they
inspiration.
do. They do,
to
and
them.
they have an opportunity to actually get involved with the children at risk.
Sylvia,
And so,
that's fantastic. Thank you for creating Global Give a Book. That's amazing, and for bringing these young ladies in. What's your last words you'd like to share with the audience, Cecilia?
Pre-literacy is very, very, very important. It is the foundation to not only academic success, but for children socially, for them emotionally. It's about cultivating success. And that's what we do at Global Give a Book. We're promoting pre-literacy because it's the foundation.
Trujillo from Angel Fire, Biology Junior at UNM. Thank you so much. What an inspiration you are, and what a confident young woman you are. And reading gives confidence as well. Eli Salway from Rio Rancho, history major, minor in museum studies. Good luck this summer. And your final words you'd like to share with our viewers out there?
I guess just read a book.
Because?
Because it's really educational. It opens your eyes. It
gives you a whole new world.
Yeah.
It gets you out of Rio Rancho
Yeah.
and Albuquerque, right? Gets us out of New Mexico. We love New Mexico.
Yeah.
We choose to be here. But reading a book opens our horizons to other areas. We got beautiful horizons here, but it gives us more horizons to see. Eli, Cecilia, Sylvia,
Diane,
thank you so much.
we'd like to encourage the audience to go to ggab.org and find out more.
ggab.org to
Yes.
find more. Just look up Global Give a Book.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. I'm Diane. Make it a great week with your family. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.